We're going to show you how to make kale chips today.
Okay.
And for people who want to get more vegetables in their diet, which I think everyone could benefit from, kale is one of the absolute best choices. It's a cruciferous vegetable like broccoli, so it's full of beneficial nutrients and cancer-fighting compounds. But the thing is, if you're like me, the idea of eating a lot of kale is not that appealing. But luckily, even if people don't like kale, even if they don't like leafy greens, just about everyone loves kale chips. And kale has this wonderful quality that when you bake it, when you dehydrate it, it has this crunchy texture just like chips do, and you can flavor it. It doesn't have an overwhelming sort of green, bitter taste when it's done right. So this is a great recipe, and it's something that can be made in a matter of really just a few minutes of prep time. You're going to see how easy this is. So I have bagged kale. This is a little bit easier because you can see the leaves have already been sort of separated from the stems. Normally you have these thick stems. If you buy it in the grocery store bulk, all you'll do is you'll rip off the individual leaves and use it. So I'm going to take a baking sheet here and spread out a good amount of kale on here. I'm going to use about half the bag. This is looks like about 10 ounces. So we'll say about 5 ounces of kale for a container of this size. So spread out an even layer all throughout. And that's it. And once again, just eating this raw would not be very appealing to me. But you're gonna see it actually makes a really tasty treat.
Why don't you try some real quick?
I'll pass on that. I'll save it for the kale chips. So we have a few different spices here. You can really use anything you want. It actually doesn't take much to flavor it. One thing that I like would be a little bit of cayenne pepper, if you like something sort of hot and spicy. So I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit of that on top. And then probably my favorite spice is curry powder. And this particular curry powder has a few really good things. All curry powder is going to have turmeric in it, which is probably, if there's one spice you want to use and use in your diet as much as possible, it's going to be turmeric. It's one of the most studied. The curcumin is an ingredient in turmeric, a compound, and it's got probably more health benefits, more research behind it for its health benefits than just about any other spice out there. Everything from anti-inflammation to cancer protective effects, cardiovascular benefits. It is probably the most all-around #1 spice to use for good health, for fat loss, for just longevity. So curry powder not only has the turmeric in it, it's got a number of other good spices. Ginger, which is related to turmeric, is very good, as well as cinnamon and a few other good spices. And the reason I also like curry powder is because when you use it, it almost is like adding a sort of cheesy flavor on these kale chips. So I'm just going to sprinkle some on there. And that's it. You can see it all. If I just wanted to use one spice, then it would take me literally about 10 seconds to just put it on there and it'd be ready to bake. But I'm going to kick it up another notch with some garlic powder here. Sprinkle that on there. Of course, you can just use whatever spices you want according to your own taste. People that like, let's say, salty vinegary stuff, they could splash a little bit of a good quality, like a raw vinegar on there. Next thing I have is, of course, salt. And the one thing about this is that you actually don't really need any salt if you're using these different spices. You'll find that it tastes fine without it. But I have right here a really good quality Himalayan salt. And this is unrefined, and it's very important if you are going to use a salt, use an unrefined salt. This could be anything like a Celtic sea salt, a Redmond salt, Himalayan salt. What you find is it still has the color to it. This is a pink salt, and that's all the beneficial trace minerals that are still intact in here. So good quality unrefined salt is a great way to get extra minerals. So I'm just going to take a little bit. It really doesn't take much. Just splash it on there. It's really just about a pinch of salt. So that's good. That's good for me. I would usually make it like that, but I have this other seasoning here called 21 Seasoning Salute. So it's got a bunch of other stuff in here, some onions, some black pepper, celery seed, oregano, rosemary, a lot of different spices in here. So if I want to add a little more flavor, I'm going to go and put that on there. And that's it. That's as simple as it is. Some recipes call for olive oil. You can do that if you want, but you'll find that you really don't need a whole lot. I'm going to mix around the kale a little bit, get the seasoning on there, and that's it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this in the oven. There's a few different ways you can do it. Some call for 10 to 15 minutes at a higher temperature, like 350 degrees. I like to just really lightly dehydrate it, keep the green color. So what I do is I stick it in the oven at about 200 degrees, and usually anywhere from about 40-45 minutes is good. You can even go a little less time. If you go too much, it starts to get burned, starts to have a little bit of a bitter flavor. So just lightly cooking it, lightly dehydrating it, almost trying to keep it raw. The idea is not to overcook it and lose some of the nutrients, but keep it as close to raw as possible. And so we'll stick it in here for about, I'm going to set it for 40 minutes at 200 degrees and then show you what it's like when it's all done.
Do these taste better than Doritos?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
This is the final product. This was about, I'd say about 40 minutes on 200 degrees in the oven. So you can see it's a very crunchy, still has its green color.
That looks good.
It tastes really good.
It just sounds good when you chew it.
Of course, if you want to still spice it up after the fact, you can always add spices to it afterwards. But it's really good. You see, it actually kind of shrinks up a little bit, so probably could have put even more kale on there. But this is a fantastic, healthy snack. It's one of those things that you just eat it and you want to keep eating more and more, like you would potato chips, only instead of something that's going to make you fatter because you keep eating it, it's actually going to add to your health. So I definitely recommend kale chips.
Yeah.